From the Mount Washington Radio Group online newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. Conway police say they're investigating whether alcohol may have been a factor at an East Main Street crash Tuesday night in Conway that injured a driver and resulted in the road being closed for more than an hour. Sergeant George Walker says Ellen C. Clough of Thetford Lane was driving a blue 2004 Chevrolet Colorado compact pickup truck on Stark Road with a 4-year-old passenger around 8:15. When because of slippery road conditions, she failed to stop at the intersection with Route 113 and went into the roadway where she was broadsided by a black 2001 GMC utility truck being driven by Richard Graves of East Conway Road in Redstone. Conway Rescue and Ambulance Center, Conway firefighters, and New Hampshire State Police responded to the scene with Conway Police, and Route 113 was closed to traffic. Responders found Clough entrapped and suffering from what are described as serious but not life-threatening injuries. She was freed and taken to Memorial Hospital in North Conway with the child, who was not hurt. Traffic was diverted away from the scene and one vehicle was towed from it. The road was reopened around 9:30 Tuesday night. Police in Ossipee say they expect to make another arrest soon in connection with a reported home invasion on Jude Boulevard earlier this month. Detective Sergeant Bob King says around 7 o'clock on the evening of Friday, February 7th, his department and officers from nearby towns responded to the home, where the homeowner, John Mason, had fired shots at 2 suspects. After getting tips he was there, police arrested one of the suspects, identified as 31-year-old James Brooks of Ossipee, last Friday at a house on Route 16B in Ossipee. Police alleged Brooks, who knew Mason, went into Mason's home with an accomplice and a weapon intending to rob him. Here's King.
When Brooks entered the house, he had the knife, displayed the knife, and demanded money from Mason, and Mason told him he would need to retrieve the money from his room, and when he went in to retrieve what Brooks thought was the money, he actually retrieved the handgun.
Mason then fired shots at the 2 suspects but didn't hit them, and the pair drove off. He is not under investigation because police say he used the gun to defend himself. Brooks, who King says has a lengthy history with his department, including charges of drugs and violence, faces new charges of burglary, armed robbery, trespass, threatening, and reckless driving. He's being held without bail at the Carroll County Jail in Ossipee and is scheduled for a probable cause hearing next week. King says the break-in was not a random act, and he doesn't believe there's any threat to the general public. In Maine news, the state is paying $300 an hour for private lawyers to defend the Maine Center for Disease Control and Prevention from a federal whistleblower lawsuit filed by a former worker. The Sun-Journal reports Attorney General Janet Mills authorized the Department of Health and Human Services to spend up to $50,000 on outside lawyers after a pair of attorneys in her office asked to be recused. CDC Director Sheila Panett has retained a lawyer who's being paid $333 an hour, subject to the same $50,000 cap. The lawsuit by former CDC official Sharon Leahy Lind alleges officials retaliated against her when she refused to destroy documents. Hiring private lawyers isn't unprecedented. A spokesman for Mills says the state hired outside lawyers 73 times in 2012 and 2013. In sports, Vermont routed New Hampshire 79-44 last night in basketball. Clancy Rugg was perfect from the free throw line in 10 attempts and scored 18 points to lead Vermont. The Catamounts held New Hampshire to just 16 first-half points, building a 26-point lead at intermission, and led by as many as 37 points in the second half. In other men's college hoops action, BC stunned top-ranked Syracuse 62-59, ending the Orange's unbeaten season. BU beat American University 71-62. And in women's college hoops, UConn routed Central Florida 83-35. And in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns held on to beat the Boston Celtics 100-94 last night. In the weather, a winter weather advisory in effect from 9 o'clock tonight until 11 o'clock Friday morning. Partly sunny today. Highs of the lower 40s. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Snow likely in the evening tonight. Then sleet or snow or freezing rain after midnight. Snow and sleet accumulation from 1 to 3 inches. Ice accumulation around a trace. Lows in the upper 20s with light winds. And freezing rain and rain on Friday. Ice accumulation up to 1/10 of an inch. Highs in the mid-30s. From the Mount Washington Radio Group online newsroom, I'm Pierre McKenzie.